I became a pregnant athlete in 2013, and I had a pretty extensive coaching and athletic history prior to that. So that was 12 years ago. I was a first-time mom, and I never identified with the idea of that women were fragile during pregnancy, or that we really needed to make a lot of different adjustments to our training. It just was like we were made for this, was my thought process. And I assumed that my fitness would almost like guarantee a pretty easy delivery and an easy postpartum recovery. That is the messaging that we were told. We did not need to be convinced that exercise was good or beneficial or safe for us or our baby. Like even back then, it was very like, it was just a common belief, especially if you were like in the CrossFit or just like fit mom bubble back then. And so when I honestly got humbled by my birth, first of all, I ended up with an emergency C-section, and then just really struggled postpartum depression, anxiety. I struggled with nursing. I struggled with a really significant diastasis, like double-digit significant diastasis, not just like, two-finger kind of thing, and a hernia. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, what did I do wrong? And so you just go like looking, like you try to like understand these changes to your body because you assume, well, God, I was fit and healthy and I like did everything right. And like, why me? And then you compare yourself to other women that you see on social media and you're like, what did I do wrong? I was supposed to have a really easy, quick birth and bounce back, and I should feel different and I should look different. And why do I feel like this? And like my world was absolutely rocked by motherhood, and it sent me down a path of wanting to learn as much as I could about my body, about my training, about like what had happened. And honestly, just like I needed more information. I really needed to figure out and understand the changes that our bodies experience during pregnancy, what our predispositions are, how to have a mentally and emotionally and physically better experience. And that's not in the form of exercise modifications. It's not. It is in the form of managing expectations, managing approach, managing your overall strategy as a pregnant athlete and postpartum athlete. Because when you're only sold a picture of be a badass, and then you feel like you fall short of that, your own expectation or what others are saying or what others are doing or what you see in headlines, like it like crushes you. And, it's hard enough adjusting to being a new mom and having this like new identity and this big shift and transition in your life. And to feel like, like so out of control is very hard for athletes. And I just like, God, I should have like known better. And I just realized we were not taught a lot about what our bodies experience during pregnancy and postpartum. And again, it's not about exercise modifications or anything like that. It's really just about like this transformative period in our lives as women, as female athletes who are honestly used to being in control. Like if I do this and I do that, then that's going to almost guarantee a specific outcome. And then when we fall short of that, it's really hard to like mentally and physically navigate that. So it took a really long time for me to honestly mentally like improve, to rehab my diastasis and even understand like what the hell was a diastasis, because that was not talked about back then. Like the way that people talk about like core and pelvic health and like blah, 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 that was not like that back then. It truly set me down a path of learning as much as I could from as many different people as I could. And there was not an abundance of resources. That is what created like the whole pregnancy postpartum athleticism brand, was my own experience as a pregnant athlete, as a postpartum athlete, as a coach, as a mom who's still very much identified as an athlete. And I was like, I'm not alone. I am not like an anomaly. Like there are so many women who feel like this, and we need better information. It's not just a glorification culture, but it's also not like this fragility messaging either. We have to acknowledge like this messy middle, but all we see is extremes. And the irony of being in this world for 12 years now as an athlete, as a coach, as a mom, as somebody who I've given the last 12 years of my life to creating a brand and a mission that supports women through pregnancy, better information for female athletes through pregnancy, postpartum, their recovery, and their lifetime of athleticism, understanding these are catalyst seasons, absolutely catalyst seasons for all that is to come. Acknowledging that it's going to be different, that different is actually a really good thing. It's an opportunity. But that was not like common messaging back then. And frankly, it's still not. What we are seeing now is this is shift again where, everything like goes full circle. There's pendulum swings like crazy. And there's just like these first full circle moments and situations where like we see the same thing. We are seeing even more examples of, women doing badass stuff during pregnancy. And I get to coach some of these people. I get to work with these professional athletes that are doing like badass things during pregnancy and as mothers. It's amazing. And we still have to acknowledge the nuance that exists in the advice we're giving to pregnant and postpartum athletes, the knowledge that coaches have. It's not just like, just do whatever you want to do. And like, then you're just going to bounce back. Like, again, we have always known that this is safe and beneficial for both mom and baby. Now we have to take into the picture the whole person, core, pelvic health, their psychology, their long-term performance goals, and be able to like reverse engineer that process in terms of what advice we're giving, how we're giving that advice, doing it at an individual level, and letting people know that there's not this like one way to approach it. And what we see in different headlines is not always applicable to the majority of the population. And I know that I've worked with thousands and thousands of pregnant postpartum athletes. I've gone through it twice myself as a mom. I have worked with coaches all over the world who have gone on and scaled really incredible businesses, serving their local online communities. And we see the variety of experiences women navigate during pregnancy and postpartum, regardless of their fitness level. These are women who they know exercise is beneficial. They are fit, they are healthy, they are knowledgeable, they are informed. And there still are different adjustments to approach and to training and to lifestyle and to mindset and all these different things that can complement our life as mothers, as pregnant athletes, as postpartum athletes. There are adjustments to be made, and that doesn't make you less of an athlete. It's not disempowering. In fact, it's so much more empowering when you give yourself permission to adapt, when you give yourself permission to evolve as an athlete, when you give yourself permission to learn more about your body instead of just like, I want to like hold on to this identity and hold on to every single thing that I do and how I do it and when I do whatever it might be. Like, instead of these like rigid timelines and goals and expectations, like when you give yourself freedom and grace, it serves you not just through those seasons, but onward. It's like a continual motherhood lesson. And it's something that I'm committed to doing with the Pregnancy Postpartum Athleticism brand, is examining like the nuance that is needed in order to fully support athlete moms, in order to fully support women across their lifetime of athleticism, understanding that pregnancy and postpartum are these significant catalyst seasons. Like, we have to acknowledge all of the variables that influences a woman's experience during these seasons. And one of the best ways we can do that is by providing more knowledge and education to the coaches who are actively, consistently working with these women, who see them at the gym, who can provide more guidance and knowledge, and do it in a way that isn't just like, well, you're fit, like you're healthy, you'll bounce back, or you'll have an easy delivery, or just dismissive of like their pelvic health symptoms. Is really being able to take into consideration all the different variables that they are navigating or are maybe predisposed to during these seasons. And that is what sets what we do apart. Like, what the PNPA brand is doing and has consistently done for 12 years is like acknowledge all the different variables that influences the seasons in a woman's life. And we believe that athleticism does not end when motherhood begins. It will be different, and different serves as an incredible opportunity.